This programme contains strong language throughout and topics that some viewers may find offensive.
Welcome to the final episode of the CityLife Comedian of the Year 2008. So without further ado, here's what I think are some of the funniest bits from this year's heats. But what do I know?
It's a prestigious competition, you know, you've had likes of Peter Cage, Jason Manford, brilliant comics, so obviously if you get the opportunity to win it, it shows that you're kind of like heading towards that level. In the news, like last year you had the terrorist attacks in Glasgow and London, or attempted attacks at least. What was interesting about that was when people found out they were doctors. Because I had my gran say to me, "Well, Christopher, I'm not a racist, but don't know if I can trust an Asian doctor anymore. I think I can only trust a white doctor." White doctor, like Harold Shipman. It's like, he's the reason she's got no fucking friends anymore.
Yeah, I'm a student. Are there any other students in? Are you Manchester or Man Met? No. I'm not going to take the piss out of people from Man Met. People give them flack. They say, "Oh, it's not a real university." It is a real university. It's just different entry requirements. No, listen, for me, to get on my course at Manchester, I needed to get 2 A's and a B. For them, they needed to get out of prison. So it's just a different setup.
And last time you were on, you were very drunk on stage.
I was very drunk, and I'm not very drunk tonight at all.
Diet Coke.
That's Diet Coke with a big head on it, yeah. Did anyone see that road safety commercial? Hit me at 30, I live. Hit me at 40, I die. Did anyone see that? I saw that and I thought, that's very interesting. But what about the options in between? Hit me at 35, I live, but walk with a limp. Hit me at 36, I live, but in a permanent coma. So the message of that commercial, if you're going to run me over at 36 miles an hour, put your foot on the accelerator, you're doing me a favour.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight. It's really lovely. I even gave him the opportunity to be on a date to be here tonight. He's a really nice bloke as well. I knew he was the man for me when he walked up to me in a club and he said, "All right, love, I'd like to give you a pregnancy scare." And I thought, all right then. It's like that, me, bit of a risk taker. Sometimes I even buy a BYRON without testing it. It's the kind of person I am.
Before we start, yes, I am well aware I look like Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
I couldn't think of anything more terrifying than standing up in front of a group of strangers and trying to make them laugh. And I still can't think of anything more terrifying.
Do you think you will make them laugh?
If I crack a wry smile, or I let them be slightly amused, then job done, fine.
I was once the victim of the worst drive-by ever. This actually happened. This did actually happen. It's about 4:45 in the morning. I'm pootling up Princess Street. All of a sudden, this Toyota Corolla pulls up and a car full of Asian lads are there. All of a sudden, I'm thinking, right, this is something, it's not sitting right, this. So I'm choking on the aftershave fumes, and the guy in the back starts to ask me directions. And then I realise the guy in the front has got an egg in his hand, and he goes to lob it at me, and it bounces off the steering wheel and limps out of the window and lands just in front of the wing mirror, splat on the floor. I look at the egg, I look at him, I look at the egg, I look at him. And I was about to come out with something really witty, like, Spaz!
So I'm on the bus on the way down here, and I pick up a newspaper. Now, the newspaper's running a competition. Competition says, and I quote, "Win tickets to see Kylie live." If you think that joke's funny now, you should have heard it 2 years ago.
But
But seriously, if anybody here would like to see someone with a nice arse die on stage before a crowd tonight, then I'm here for you.
I've discovered the worst job in the country. In my real job, I do sales, okay? I sell incentives to food companies. Last week, I try and sell these incentives to food companies. Last week, I rang up a cheese company. This exists. It's in the Isle of Man. You can go to Sainsbury's and check this out. The company is called the Isle of Man Cheese Company. The worst job in the country is the poor lady on reception has to pick up the phone every 10 seconds and go, "Hello, I love man cheese. Can I help you?" I don't know, baby. I've never done phone sex before. What are you wearing? I'm wearing corduroy trousers and a cardigan, you saucy bitch.
You know what the anagram of Princess Diana is? Do you know what it is? It's Ascend in Paris. Give me a ooh. Yeah. Do you know what Tony Blair is? It's Tory in Lab. Give me another ooh. Yeah. And do you know what Leonardo da Vinci is? It's Vindaloo and Rice. It is. That's what they had at the Last Supper. It was a piss-up. It's fucking obvious now, isn't it?
I've never really been someone who can stand up for himself, and that's never made me particularly attractive to women. Even worse is my crippling inability to tell the difference between sexual tension and an embarrassed silence. Even worse is when my mates used to take me out into clubs to try and get me laid. And I hate talking to girls in clubs. I hate it when I'm talking to a girl and I really think she wants to give me a blowjob, and it turns out she just wants me to buy her another drink. Although, to be honest, if she thinks she's getting that off me, she's going to be disappointed.
And I've got a theory on astronomy, and this theory is that everyone on the planet is similar to something out in space. Everyone has characteristics like something out in the cosmos, yeah? Like me, for example, when I was a child, I was very much like the planet Pluto, yeah? Because it's a bit of a misfit, a bit of an outsider, no one cares about it, it's a bit weird, no one bothers, yeah? And obviously, as you may know, Pluto is no longer a planet, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah?
It's an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to live in this fine city that is Manchester. The only problem with that, though, is every time I meet someone, you have a tendency to say the same thing all the time. And it goes a bit like this. "Hey, mate, what part of Ireland are you from?" "I'm from Cork." "Funny you say Cork. It's just I've been to Belfast." It's in a different country, that.
I watched last week's Heat. It was on last night, and I noticed they had very, very carefully edited around any instance of anybody using the word. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're going to struggle with this, because if nothing else, I'm an awkward. So, good evening. I'm called Michael J. Dolan. The J stands for. I'll tell you, I was on a bus the other day, and you know the that buses attract. I was surrounded by. I felt like being on the. It's very childish of me, I know.
This doesn't look good, does it? Two giant video cameras pointing at a scouser standing next to loads of audio equipment, that is, it is. I'm not touching it, it was here when I got here, man, it's not mine. Pool table there. This is like doing a gig in a cash converter's window, I don't know what to say. All I need is 2 forms of ID and I can fuck off.
Has anyone flown EasyJet? Yeah, probably quite a few, right. Listen, if there's any anthropologists in the room or political theorists... No? Oh. If they want to see anarchy in action or survival of the fittest, all they have to do is watch an EasyJet flight boarding. Because they don't allocate the seats, do you? You get to the boarding gate, it's just one gate, and about 200 people looking at it, trying to get closer, whilst trying to look like they're not trying to get closer to the gate. Mm-hmm. Mildred, stay close, this could get ugly.
One morning, she inadvertently raised my ire by complaining her PC at the call centre where we were, did well for myself, right? Now, she complained because it took 45 seconds to start. Is it like in the modern age? Tough. Something in me snapped, and at 27 years old, you should not be able to say what I did then without any irony. Because I took a deep breath and went, "You youngsters don't know you're fucking born!" In my day, I think he died when I said that. In my day, when you didn't have PCs, if I wanted to computer, I had to put a cassette in my ZX Spectrum plus 128K, leave it alone for 25 minutes, fuck off to the far corner of the room. If I slammed the door, my cat brought wind, or downstairs my dad said something loud, and it crashed, had to spend another 30 minutes doing it from the beginning, 45 seconds, fuck off!
Oh no, here we go again. Another man with feelings. The last guy was not too sensitive, it really isn't a feeling. Guy number 2 I've seen for a week. He made me dinner and talked about his emotions. I tried not to laugh into my bolognese as he declared his undying devotion. Oh God! Why does this keep happening? Where have all the good men gone? We wanted to make them more like us, but our fun has gone horribly wrong. We made them become all sensitive. They're in touch with their feminine side. But I want a man who whisks me off my feet. I want him to watch his dirty dancing and cries. Oh, pull yourselves together!
Firstly, I thought, let's make it compulsory for anybody who wears a tracksuit in public to have a licence before they can have children. Yeah. Thought so. Secondly, let's set up concentration camps for ADHD sufferers. No, I'm not advocating killing them, they just need to focus. Just sit there, focus.
My wife left us, and she's in with a bloke who works in a chemist now, so that's not gonna. Actually, before I move on, I'll tell you a funny story about Donna's new bloke. Last year on Halloween, somebody set fire to his shed. Hey, fuck you, Arthur. Fuck you. Where are you going to put your lawnmower? No. You shedless bastard.
Well, that's all we've got time for now, but don't go anywhere as we will be back with a lot more comedy. Hello and welcome back to CityLife Comedian of the Year 2008. Well, you've seen the first 3 heats. Here's the last one.
My all-time personal favourite is My Name is a Spoonerism. You do a very childish thing, you swap the first couple of letters over, and Phil Buckley so very easily becomes Bill Fuckley. Right? I love that. I think that's brilliant. I love the fact that my parents weren't smart enough to notice you could do that with my name. Right? I didn't think I'd find a better example until I read about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Now, does anyone know what they called their first daughter? Go on. Exactly. They called their daughter Shiloh Pitt. Right. I'm quite juvenile. But that makes me happy because I love the idea no matter how rich and famous you become in this world, you'll still have a mate stood behind you going, don't fucking tell them. It'll be brilliant when they find out.
So, anyway, when I was like 15, I used to be I'm still quite a romantic person, so I thought, right, I'm going to try and make my first time really good. So I cleaned the room, and I put some candles out and stuff, and I made it really nice. Now this girl, like I said, she was 17, a little bit older, been around the block about 9 times. She was a bit rough. I remember we went back to my room, and we were kissing, and we started to undress, and she said to me, she stood there, and she said she was quite a rough lady. She went, lick it. Lick what?
It was actually because of the credit crunch that last Saturday night I was forced to stay in by myself in front of the television. Now, I didn't realise how depressing this was going to be. Once you found out you've not won the lottery, then that dreaded sound comes out of nowhere to confirm that you are in by yourself on a Saturday night. Yep, the Casualty theme tune. I mean, that might as well be the funeral march playing in your own living room, hadn't it? And Casualty's that graphic these days. I wasn't even sure whether I was watching Casualty or Saw 3.
Yeah, I needed the first. What I'm saying is I wanted yesterday's copy rather than today's. So that's what I said. I said, just give me yesterday's copy. And he said, no, I can't. And I went, all I want is yesterday's copy of The Independent. He said, well, then you've got a bit of a problem then, haven't you? I went, yeah, I've got a problem. My problem's you. What's your problem? He went, I haven't got a problem, but I've got today's copy of The Independent if you want to buy that. I went, don't try and be funny. You're trying to be funny. Don't try and be funny. And he went, no, I'm not. But it's like the way he said it, it's like he didn't really mean it, you know, he's just going, no, I'm not, like that. And he's just trying to sort of wind me up. And so I just got really annoyed and picked up this rack of chewing gum that they had on the counter and smashed it over his head. Right. And he kind of fell down, like that, and kind of went on the floor. And I didn't know what to do, so I just picked up this can of Coke and threw it at his head. And then I'd already committed to one, so I just grabbed a load of more cans of Coke, just throwing them at this guy's head.
I gave up smoking in January, right, and all the money that I saved from not smoking, I used to go on holiday abroad, where I bought loads of cheap fags. I've just got back from a holiday. I went to Iceland for 2 weeks. Oh, it's really relaxing, it's great, really chilled out, it's brilliant. You should go. In fact, there's one in Stockport if you fancy it.
I had a friend who gets too angry too easily, and he recently spent 3 weeks at Her Majesty's Pleasure for getting too angry. And in prison, he found God, which I thought was pretty amazing in 3 weeks. But anyway, I went to church with him afterwards because I'm a bit agnostic. And we pull up at this church, and there's a poster outside, and it says, every weekend, more people go to the church than go to the football. And I thought, all very well, but if church was £35 a ticket, there wouldn't be a single fucker in there, would there?
Well, that's the heats out of the way. 9 acts went through to the final, and here, in reverse order, just for a bit of comedy, are the top 3.
Okay. In third place, would you please welcome on stage MICK Sargent. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You've only been with us for a couple of months. Imagine if we got married and we had kids together.
Oh my God, that would be horrendous.
You're joking, aren't you?
So, good luck to you.
You are joking,
You're scaring me now.
No, she's joking.
You're scaring me.
Are you married?
Will I marry you? Do you really want me to? I don't think I'd live a year if I married you, would I? You'd probably stab me.
I've stopped putting marmalade in my tea.
Why would you put marmalade in your tea?
I like orange. So people look at blonde girls and think, oh, I bet she's a bit thick. I think she's a bit of a dafty. I get all the time, pet. People look at me, scarecrow paedophile. No, I'm not a paedophile. That's just what the kids on the corner shout out when I walk past. Okay? And the other thing, we need to get this sorted. And the other thing is, I sometimes get accused of being a bit bleak. Now, some people would say that glass is half empty. Others, that it's half full. That's my fucking glass. No, never mind any of this glass half empty bullshit. Mick Sargent, just put some more water in.
Ladies and gentlemen, in second place, would you please welcome onto the stage Ben Davis?
Ben, the first time you went to the competition, you made it into the final. How good are you feeling?
Yeah, I think as excited as perhaps a young boy in the 50s when rationing ended and he could run off to the shop and get some fudge.
Wow, that is exciting, isn't it?
I don't drink too much. I'm not a rock and roll comic. I once overdosed on multivitamins. Woke up with healthier bones and teeth. So that was a nice evening, you know, it was nice. My parents aren't still together anymore, and I think it left me with a fear of commitment, because I don't want to get involved with a girl and fuck it up. It's for that reason that I'm into kinky sex. It doesn't get me off. I just find it's a lot harder to fall in love when someone's dressed as a baby and pissing on you. Just keeps them at arm's length. It just keeps them about there, and that's where I like them to be. So there you go. I've had some nice evenings, I've got to say. I'll tell you a bit about myself. I graduated from university last year. Some people think university is an easy ride. I found it a fucking scary place. I turned up on the first day to register, and I went into the main hall, and they were giving out free condoms, rape alarms, and sweets. I thought, what the fuck have I signed up for? Obviously expecting a group of recklessly promiscuous diabetics.
And first, oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, 2008 CityLife Comedian of the Year is Eddie Who.
I was at the station today, and an old man came up to me, rattling a tin, and he said, "Excuse me, but do you mind making a small donation so together we can enable disabled people to lead meaningful lives with fulfilling sexual relationships?" I said, "I'm sorry, mate. I've no problem making a donation so disabled people can lead adequate lives. But meaningful lives with sexual relationships, wouldn't that make them fuckers better off than me? I mean, there's no way I'm shelling out money so some with Spina Bifida can get his end away. Well, I'm stuck at home wanking off over DVDs of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, there must be thousands of charities for the disabled, yet there's not one for angry, desperate Chinese men. I'm so lonely.
Well done, Eddie.
Well, thank you, Steph. You saying that this does the world.
Does it really?
Yes, it does, yeah.
So are you feeling quite elated at the moment?
It's elation with the being very drunk, sort of suppressing elation. But it's good. Drunk and elated. What more can you ask for? It's fantastic.
Oh, here he is. Here's 1 year's winner.
Yeah. Showbiz moment. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're having the gay marriage so Vince can get legal entry to the country. No, we're not. No, don't say that.
Previous CityLife Comedian of the Year winner. Meet new CityLife Comedian of the Year winner.
Did he deserve it? Did he deserve it? Wasn't it? He was brilliant. Well done, Eddie.
Thank you, Vince.
Were you shocked?
You bloody mussing your way in, you fucking... Oh, sorry.
It's his moment, do one.
No, he can stand here. He's pretty to me. Stand here. Yes.
I know he's your friend. Were you shocked, though?
I was very shocked.
Were you?
How much did you win?
Did you not think?
£1,000.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I got 200 quid worth of Palmdale vouchers. That's a lot of big.
And you're still badly dressed. So what's the excuse? Yeah. Primark vouchers, 50 quid. No, I don't know what to say. It's fantastic.
Well, a few years ago, you were in the heats, absolutely trolleyed.
So a few years ago, I was just a lunatic. No, a lunatic, and now I'm a lunatic. People know.
Yay!
So it's like
Can't
a
be
step
better.
up on the ladder.